Hi everyone, welcome to ZyNerd's NEET PG 2024 Institute Info Series. Today we'll be looking at CMC Vellore seats, the complete information on the PG seats available in CMC Vellore under different quotas. Who is eligible, what is the fee structure, what were the seats available last year, and what is the application process for each of these different quotas. For information, the CMC management quota application form is open now and will be available till the 13th of June. What seats come under the management quota, how do you need to apply, etc. we will take you through in this session. We also have two separate videos in case you do not have information to time to comprehensively go through the entire information on CMC, but you just want to know what seats come under the management quota, who is eligible and whether you need to apply. We'll have a separate 5-minute video on that, which will be available, the link of which will be available in the description. Have a look at that video. We also have a separate video on the CMC application process. You can have a look at that information and go through the application form if you are interested in the CMC management quota seats. We'll look at the important dates first for the management quota application form. This is only for the management quota, not for the other seats that come under the government quota. The application form is already available in the CMC portal at admissions.cmcvellore.ac.in. 13th June is the last date for submission of the application forms, and in case there are any documents that are required to be sent, 17th June is the last date for receipt of documents at CMC. They have to reach CMC by the 17th of June. If you belong to a category called general merit, open for all candidates across India, then no documents need to be sent. You just have to submit your application form, pay the fee, and get the final application form printed out. In case you belong to minority network, which is another category which we will explain later. If you belong to the minority network and you are recommended by a minority network organization, beyond the other documents that need to be sent by 17th, you also have to ensure that the recommendation letter from your minority network church or organization reaches CMC by the 25th. Post this, the counseling happens through Tamil Nadu government or management quota, basically through the management quota counseling for management quota seats. You will have to apply for TN management quota and CMC will let you know the process after the exams are over. But before the exams, these need to be completed. We will look at the course-wise distribution of seats in CMC. CMC has around 238 seats with 33 anesthesiology seats, 24 radio seats, and around 20 pediatric seats available. Of these, there are 204 clinical seats, 17 paraclinical, and 10 preclinical seats, and 4 diploma in clinical pathology seats, 3 seats in MCH neurosurgery, 6-year direct courses, 3 seats. Now note that CMC classifies clinical seats slightly differently. For instance, community medicine is classified here as a clinical seat. The reason why we are emphasizing this is at a later point in time when it comes to service obligation or the bond, the penalty involved, etc. Clinical seats will have a different bond. Non-clinical seats or preclinical or paraclinical seats will have a slightly different bond and terms and conditions. Now at that point in time, you will have to understand that community medicine comes under clinical as far as CMC's classification is concerned. Eligibility, the basic eligibility we all know, MBBS plus CRRI completed before August 15th. This is the eligibility for NEET PG 2024, and you should have been qualified. You should have qualified NEET PG once the results are out. If you are more than 50 percentile and you are qualified, then you are qualified for any institution, any postgraduate course across India. The same is for CMC as well. In case the 50 percentile criteria comes down through a notification by NMC later, then that is applicable for CMC as well. You should have registered with any state medical council, and in case you have a service obligation, CMC prospectus does not mention anything about what service obligation it is. There are two types of service obligations usually they refer to. One is in terms of their service obligation. Somebody who has completed MBBS in CMC and has to serve for 2 years in CMC or in any needy area, which is through CMC or through the recommended minority network organization. That is one for CMC MBBS candidates. Or second, in terms of service obligation with the state or whichever bond, whatever bonds you have with respect to the institution that you have worked in, that should have been completed by 15th of August 2024. So that is the other criteria. Now, as far as seats split is concerned, the CMC is a private institution. Obviously, you would know that if you look at any list of top private institutions, CMC would be on the top. So, CMC is possibly the best private institution in the country, and the specialties, some of the specialties in CMC are possibly the best among the private institutions in the country. Now, CMC seats, being a private institute, are completely under the Tamil Nadu counselling. They don't come under the All India counselling. So under the Tamil Nadu counselling, Tamil Nadu DME conducts two counsellings, Tamil Nadu management quota and Tamil Nadu government quota. So CMC seats, all the seats, the 238 seats are split as 50% under the Tamil Nadu government quota counselling and 50% under the management quota counselling. These two counsellings happen separately. Like there is a separate registration for Tamil Nadu government quota counselling and a separate registration for Tamil Nadu management quota counselling. The eligibilities are also slightly different. As far as CMC is concerned, they contribute 50% to each of these counsellings. 119 seats each under management and government quota. Now we have the Tamil Nadu government quota seats, which are 50% of seats of CMC under the Tamil Nadu government quota. To be eligible, there are two different sets of seats that are available. Around 30% of seats are available for Tamil Nadu native candidates or who have done MBBS from any state, or Tamil Nadu MBBS candidates who are native of any states. So if you've done your MBBS from Tamil Nadu, or if you are a native of Tamil Nadu, or both, you will be eligible for these set of seats under the Tamil Nadu government quota. This is the usual government quota seats from any private institutes. You take PhD, that also contributes 50% to Tamil Nadu government quota. You will be eligible for those seats. But in CMC, this is limited to 30% of the total seats. So basically this 50% is split into 3:2 ratio, and 30%, around 70-71 seats, come under the Tamil Nadu government quota, Tamil Nadu native, Tamil Nadu MBBS eligibility. Everybody who applies for the Tamil Nadu government quota is eligible for these seats. Then you have another 20% which is specific to Tamil Nadu natives, wherever you have done MBBS. Tamil Nadu natives who belong to the Christian minority category. So if you are a Christian minority candidate and a Tamil Nadu native, this is not applicable for a Kerala Christian minority candidate. This is not available for any other state Christian minority candidate. This is only for Tamil Nadu native Christian minority candidates, or those who have completed their MBBS from CMC and have completed their service obligation of 2 years outside Tamil Nadu. This is a specific thing that the Supreme Court added on. So those set of candidates who have completed their MBBS from CMC Vellore and then completed 2 years of service obligation outside Tamil Nadu, they have to get a certificate from the principal, and then they are also eligible for this set of 20% seats, comes to around 48 to 50 seats. So all these are under Tamil Nadu government counselling, and all these seats, when will the application open? Not open now. The applications will be open only after the exams are over, when Tamil Nadu government quota counselling happens. Let us say you are from a state of Maharashtra, you have not done your MBBS from Tamil Nadu, not a native of Tamil Nadu. These seats are not available for you. Very clear? These are only for Tamil Nadu native or Tamil Nadu MBBS candidates. You are a resident of Maharashtra, you have done your MBBS from Tamil Nadu, then you will be eligible for this 30%. If you are a native of Tamil Nadu, you would belong to the Christian minority category, then this 20% will be available. All through the Tamil Nadu counselling, nothing to be done now till the exams. If you are if you are willing to apply for these seats, wait for the Tamil Nadu government quota counselling. Then you have the second set of seats with the Tamil Nadu management quota. Irrespective of whether you are eligible for Tamil Nadu government quota or not, this management seats has a separate set of open seats. So keep looking at this information as well. Let us say you basically the CMC management quota is split into two sets of seats. Four sets of seats. One is the general merit category, next is the institutional preference category, service category, and the minority network category. So all these four categories have different percentage of seats split from the total CMC management seats. How many seats are under the CMC management? We said 119 seats out of 238, half are available under the CMC management quota, and within that almost 70% of CMC management seats come under minority network. We'll explain what minority network is. This has to do with only those associations or churches which are part of the CMC organization. So that is only for that set of candidates. Then you have three categories: general merit category, which has a 10% split, institutional preference, which has a 10% split, and service category, which has a 10% split among the management seats. Last year, if you look at the allotments, out of these total seats, 79 seats were allotted under the CMC minority network category, and then 18 seats were allotted under the service category. Institutional preference had around 8 seats and nearly 12 seats under the CMC general merit category. What are these? This is a split of the clinical seats within the 119. If you're looking at non-clinical seats, there is a separate split available over here. You can check that as well. If you're looking at pre or paraclinical seats, specifically specialty wise, the splits differ between general merit and the other 4 categories. Now, looking at it, the first thing that among these categories that we need to look at is the general merit category. The general merit category has who is eligible for. All candidates across India are eligible for this set of 12 odd seats under general merit category. The seats may differ across every year, but usually there is a specific set of seats which keep coming up every year that we will discuss later. Who is eligible? Everybody is eligible. So in case you belong to Maharashtra, you belong to Kerala, you belong to Tamil Nadu, you are not a native of Tamil Nadu, you belong to some other state, everyone across India who is NEET PG qualified will be eligible for this general merit seats. Do you need to belong to a minority community or category? No. Everybody across India is eligible for this set of seats. Institutional preference is only those candidates who have completed their MBBS from CMC Vellore and completed their 2-year service obligation before 15th of August. The institutional preference candidates will clearly know what this category is and how to apply for this. Next, you have the service category. This is a specific category which CMC has. Being a mission hospital, they have this category for candidates who have served in areas of need for 2 years, a minimum of 2 years. Who can those candidates be? Anybody who has served in a mission hospital. What mission hospital is not mentioned. It doesn't have anything to do with the minority category candidate or a minority organization which they have served. Any needy area, which might be a mission hospital, which might be a leprosy hospital, armed forces. If you have served in armed forces for 2 years, if you have served in a government primary health center, you are from the state of Rajasthan, you have served in a government primary health center, rural or remote areas or difficult areas for 2 years, then you are eligible for this set of seats. How many seats did we say were there? Last year 18 seats got allotted here and you are eligible for this set of seats. You work with slums with registered NGOs, you are still eligible for this category. Do you need to be a minority network candidate? No, all candidates are eligible. So usually candidates from Tamil Nadu who are working in primary health centers in Tamil Nadu apply for this. There are certain candidates who are aware of the service category and they apply for this. So this set of seats is purely for that, any candidate irrespective of whether they are minority or not. Then you have the minority network set of seats. 2 years if you have served after completion of MBBS in any of the CMC churches or associations which form the CMC organization. There is a list of 61 odd entities. If you are recommended by those entities, having served them for 2 years and then willing to serve them for further X number of years, 3 years I guess. So after that agreement is made, they will recommend you to CMC and there are a set of seats which are available. This is the 70%. You have to be a minority candidate for being recommended. You need to produce certificates towards that extent as well. So this is the complete split of management seats in CMC. We'll quickly run through each one of these categories. First, if you are interested in any of these seats, there are 2 applications that you need to do. One, you need to apply for CMC today. Before 13th of June, you should have applied for CMC. Otherwise, any of these seats, none of these seats you will be eligible for. Then after applying for CMC, you will also have to apply for the Tamil Nadu management quota. Only then you will be eligible for this set of seats, any of these seats. So even for the general merit seats, you will have to apply for CMC Vellore before at the admissions portal before 13th of June and send across. And for general merit, all candidates are eligible, minority and non-minority. No documents need to be sent, just the information that is required for submission of application form and payment is sufficient. Service obligation, after completion, you have a 1 year service obligation for clinical seats, MD or MS, and no service obligation for pre or paraclinical seats. Service obligation is the bond that you serve in CMC or anywhere CMC recommends during the 1 year after completion of the course. This is for general merit. There is a big query, one, on the general merit fee structure. Is it higher? CMC is a private organization. Do look at the last part of this video where we discuss the fee. No, CMC does not have a high fee structure. It has a very nominal fee structure, lesser than many government colleges and even far 1/10 of many private colleges. So CMC has a very low fee structure even for general merit seats. This is called management quota, but don't associate this term management quota with management quota of private institutes or deemed universities management quota. Those are at the range of 9 lakhs, 10 lakhs to up to even 50 lakhs. CMC's fee structure is less than possibly even around 60 to 65,000 per annum, including all the fee for the entire till the examination. So you have that in mind while applying for general category. Second query is, there are very less seats in general merit over here. Will I get any seat? How are the seats allotted under general merit? CMC has this rule of allotting one seat for every specialty, where under management quota, under the 119 seats, if the number of seats are more than 8 in a specialty, then they allot one seat under for the clinical seats. And for non-clinical, we have already mentioned this is how it is split between general merit and other categories. So this is how it is allotted. So if you look at it, general medicine, radio diagnosis, pediatrics, anesthesiology, OBG usually have at least one seat available in CMC under the clinical category. The rest of it you can have a look at. Diploma in clinical pathology will also have a seat. MCH neurosurgery usually doesn't have a seat under the general merit category. Now we say usually. Whether there is a change this year, we wouldn't know. Okay, the logic remains the same, but in case some seats come up later, you will have to be ready for it. If you are interested in any of these seats, please do apply. Now you can also look at the closing ranks of the previous year as far as these seats are concerned. We'll have a look at that as well. Now if you look at this information, you will have information very clearly on the general medicine seats which are available over here. Which were available till rank 419. It is a top preferred institutes, obviously better than many top institutes across, possibly rank 2 or 3 across the country when it comes to some of these courses. So 419 is where general medicine was taken up. You look at radio diagnosis at the 1483, even the 50th percentile or below, the last few government colleges would alone be available, but CMC's radio diagnosis was available. Somebody had taken it up because they had applied for CMC before this deadline, and then also applied for the Tamil Nadu government quota. They were aware of this and then they applied. Now with more awareness every year, these ranks are coming down, but still to have a chance, you need to apply for this. An instance is somebody who's ranked 1000, who might not have got radio diagnosis in possibly even the top 80% of institutes, 70-80% of institutes, they might not have got radio diagnosis under the general category. That candidate would have got radio diagnosis in the one of the top 3 institutes in the country at 1483 if they had applied, just above that. So keep that in mind. You can see that OBG was taken up at 6788, where possibly most of the seats would have been, 90% of seats would have been closed in All India quota itself. So take a look at this. If you are interested, you want to keep that chance open, the management quota applications are open. You might have to pay a fee of 1500 today for the applications, but you will be able to keep that chance open in case it comes up at a later point in time. The emphasis continues. We are emphasizing it again and again because many candidates miss out and regret later. It is up to you to take a call on this. Institutional preference, any candidate who has completed their MBBS in CMC and have completed 2 years of service obligation is eligible. You will have to provide 2 years of service obligation completion certificate. The rest of it, when you go out with the application form, it will automatically ask which institute you are from, and if you are from CMC Vellore and you mention the dates or the year of period of education, then it will automatically put you under the institutional preference category as well, in addition to minority network and service category, which you will also be eligible for because you have completed 2 years service obligation. The service obligation post completion of PG is MD/MS courses 3 years, and then MCH neurosurgery 6 years, which means if you take up MCH neurosurgery, you will serve you will do the course for 6 years, and then again 6 years you will have to serve CMC. Service category is the category that special category that we discussed in terms of those who have completed, deserving candidates who have completed in areas of need, not specific to minority, non-minority. Every candidate is eligible. You will need to give proper proof for this. That has to be sent before the 17th of June. Proof of 2 years service obligation is required. That is, there is an annexure 2 in the prospectus information bulletin that is available in the portal. Print that out, sign it, and send it across. In addition to that, you need to get a certificate from the head of the institute mentioning that you served in that institute during this particular period in the letterhead of the institute. Then you will also have to submit your form 16A and B from the employer as well, and the attested bank statements and salary certificates. Any one of these as proof that you have received the salary, and this has to be certified by the head of the institution of the appointing authority. You have any queries on this, whether I need to submit all 3, etc., you can always connect with CMC. They respond from 8 to 4 and they respond to all the queries in the numbers. We'll share the contact details later. Service obligation in CMC Vellore for this set of candidates, you have a 2 years service obligation for clinical courses, 4 years for MCH neurosurgery seat, and 2 years for paraclinical, and DCP it is 1 year. Pre or paraclinical is 2 years. Service category, look at this information. This will be surprising for this. You will be surprised by looking at this information. See the number of seats that have gone at for the 2 seats in radio diagnosis. 14,659 and 956 is the last candidate to take a seat. A primary health center, a candidate who is working in a primary health center across any state in India, if they had scored 14,000 last year, would have got a radio diagnosis seat in a premier institute. There's less awareness. As awareness moves on, let us say based on this session, or there are a lot of people who apply, this might come down, but still if you have a chance and you are a service candidate who has worked in a needy area, do apply for CMC and take this opportunity to get into one of the best institutes in the country. CMC Minority Network, this is the last set. CMC has a list of around 61 network organizations or churches. So these network organizations can recommend candidates to CMC if the candidate has completed MBBS and have completed 2 years of service obligation in their in the hospitals or colleges under their purview, institutions under their purview. So if though they recommend, CMC can also recommend. So they recommend candidates, and those candidates have an option to get into the minority network seats. Now these recommendations go directly to CMC before the 25th. The recommendation has to go into CMC. It is ideal that you send across your forms before the 17th of June. What are the forms required? Similar to service, proof of 2 years of service, a certificate from the head of the institution, and also your form 16A and B or your attested bank statement, salary certificate is required. In addition, you also need to send your baptism certificate or confirmation or church membership certificate to Christian Medical College Vellore. This is because only this set of seats are limited to minority Christians. So what among the management quota, this is the only set which is limited to minority Christians. This comes to possibly around 70 seats. And then you also have within the TN government quota, nothing to be done now for that. Within the TN government quota, another set of 20% of seats within the total. So that in total comes to around a very small number of 40-45% seats which are for minority. Rest are for non-minority, possibly around 50% only for minority candidates specifically defined. The service obligation, MD/MS courses 3 years, MCH courses 6 years is a service obligation. We look at the service bond and the penalty. See, if you complete your PG from CMC, then you will have to serve CMC for X number of years. We had gone through that for each of the different categories, right? So for general merit, we said it is only 1 year for MD/MS clinical courses and no service obligation for if you take a pre or paraclinical or a DCP course. Now, in case you don't serve that bond, then you will have to pay 40 lakhs to CMC for PG courses and 20 lakhs for PG diploma, the diploma clinical pathology course, if you don't serve this bond. In case you discontinue the course after the end of the last date of resignation, basically the seats lapse after round 3, etc. if you discontinue. So in case you do that, then you pay a state penalty. What is the state penalty in Tamil Nadu? 15 lakhs for PG degree. And you also pay CMC a penalty, which is again another 15 lakhs. So you pay 15 plus 15 lakhs if you have taken a PG degree course, and 10 plus 10 lakhs if you have taken a DCP course in CMC. This is after the course begins. Upgradation from round 1 to round 2, that is fine. That is allowed. There is no penalty for that. Stipend 51,000 per month. They have increased it from last year. CMC has, it was around 38 and they have increased it over the last year. CMC fee structure, the DCP, you can look at the fee structure. This fee structure mentioned is, as on the left is the college fee and on the right is the total fee. This is for 3 years put together. There are many queries on this. People go through the brochure and think that it is 1.86 lakhs and do not apply. It is not 1.86 lakhs. Even if it is 1.86, it possibly is worth it, but given a private institute and might be the lowest among all private institutes, but it is not 1.86 lakhs per annum even. It is 1.86 lakhs for all 3 years put together. Among that, for an MDMS course, let us say 50,800 goes to CMC. The rest 1,35,000 goes to the Tamil Nadu MGR University, which is a fee that you pay irrespective of, in all private colleges, you will pay this fee in addition to your tuition fee. Some might have clubbed it, but this is how it is. So basically the tuition fee at 50,800, including library and other periodicals and other fee, is lesser than many government institutes per annum. So this, you will pay 1.86 for 3 years put together, which basically comes down to around 62,000 or so per annum, but you will pay the entire amount in the beginning of the, at the beginning of the course during the admissions. That is the only difference when compared to other institutes. This is a very low fee structure. You can see that, let's say for MCH neurosurgery for 6 years, you pay 2.49 lakhs, almost with only around 88,000 to CMC. There are many queries usually that come up. Now this is the management quota fee. What is the government quota fee? Will the management quota fee be far higher than government quota fee? No. This is the fee structure for every seat in CMC. Whichever seat, general merit, minority networks, TN government quota 20%, 30%, whatever be the seat, this is the fee that any candidate pays. There is no difference in terms of management quota, government quota, within that multiple quotas, etc. There is no difference. Fee is 3 years per annum or per annum fee. Whatever you see here is all 3 years put together. 1.86 for 3 years, no money to be paid later other than for possibly accommodation and possibly your mess and other fee if you are enrolled in any of those. Accommodation is available, partial furnished accommodation is available. Everybody usually gets an accommodation either within the institute or within the hospital or possibly some of them in a short distance from the hospital. There are other annexes available, and this will be a single accommodation usually. In case you go with a family on priority, that might be family based accommodation. You might get it immediately or after 1 year, 1.5 years, or possibly by the end at a later point in time. Should I also apply for TN counseling? Let us make it very clear. Government quota seats, the 20% plus 30% seats, which are for TN natives or TN MBBS or CMC 2 years outside, who have done obligation outside, that set of seats you don't need to apply now. So if you're a TN native, TN MBBS, you are applying for those seats, nothing to be done now. You need to apply for TN government quota counseling later, yes, but nothing to be done now. TN manage, if you're looking at the management quota seats of CMC, especially those general merit seats, service seats, etc., IP and minority network, they would know to apply, already be aware. If you're looking at IP, you come to know the general merit seats and service seats now, then you need to apply now for CMC, then apply for TN management quota, and after applying for TN management quota, you have to come back to the CMC portal and enter that application receipt number in the CMC portal for them to validate everything and send across the details to Tamil Nadu Management Quota Authority. Once Tamil Nadu Management Quota counseling, this is only for, you have to apply for management quota for the general merit service minority network IP seats, institutional preference seats. After you apply, you go back to CMC, and after the exams, you will have to enter all the details. So currently apply before 13th, then after the exams, you can have a look at, keep continuing to look at information. No document needs to be sent for general merit. Some documents need to be sent for service category. We have already explained that. Contact address and details, you can look at these contact address and details. The application form filling and registration details are also available at admissions@cmcvellore.ac.in, and we have done a demo on that. That is also available in the description. Yeah, you can have a look at the demo. We would suggest you to look at CMC Vellore applications now, and if interested, apply. Take some time. It will take possibly 1 hour max for you to apply, and then go ahead and prepare for your examinations. It costs just 1,500 rupees. It is not about the cost, but keeping your chances open. If you are interested in any seat, tomorrow let us say you are looking at a biochemistry seat, and you say, okay, I'll settle down with a biochemistry seat in any state, anywhere. Okay, I am fine. Why not settle down with a biochemistry seat in one of the best institutes of the country should possibly be your question. Let us say physiology seat at 48,000. It is possible. So if you want to keep those options open, apply for CMC. Your call purely. We have given you all the information. It is up to you to take a call based on this information. The seats may vary across years. Keep that in mind. Second, over the next 1.5 months, keep preparing. Our suggestion is that you keep preparing, continue your preparations. You can look at all the allotments, closing ranks, etc. at a later point in time. ZyNerd will open up subscriptions on June 23rd. We don't disturb you during the period of examination for the sake of getting more subscriptions. You will have ample time after that. Instantly data will be available. You will be able to pick up data and look at information and get every information. You will have 1.5 months before the counseling starts. You will be able to gather all the information at that point in time for taking decisions. Spending 1 or 2 days on the cutoffs today versus getting 4 or 5 marks higher in the examination, which one would be better? Obviously you would know. You will be standing a better, you will be in a better standing in case you spend that time you spend on cutoffs, what is going to happen later, the curiosity factor, etc. Rather than that, go for proper preparations. That will help you get a better seat. All the best. We'll also come up with a session on CMC Ludhiana if possible. There are no general merit seats under CMC Ludhiana. It is only for those candidates who have done MBBS in CMC Ludhiana or have completed service obligation. We'll come up with a separate session on that. Thanks a lot for watching.